Now You Three Me. It was right there, man. It was right there. You fumbled the fucking bag. Hello everybody, it me, Scoop, and I'm not a big Now You See Me fan, but hey, this was a fun movie, I can't even lie. So, Now You See Me, Now You Don't just came out in theaters and hasn't really been too much buzz about it. It is an interesting concept. I mean, the last movie came out in 2016. Did okay at the box office, honestly, did pretty good. I think it like almost tripled its budget, so that's really solid. Did not too great with critics. I think it has like a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that Rotten Tomatoes is the end-all be-all, but I mean, it's a good metric just to see how things are going. But I feel like word of mouth about it was okay. It was really that first movie. I mean, the concept of what if magicians did crimes? Honestly, that's kind of cool. There's two ways you can go about that. There is The Prestige, and then there's Now You See Me. And as someone who has recently watched The Prestige, both are great. I'm a Now You See Me guy. I like when my movies get a little silly, they get a little goofy, they get a little over the top, they push the boundaries of what should probably be like remotely realistic. These magicians should not be getting away with all that, but they do, and it's hilarious, and it's a fun time. So I kind of just stumbled into Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I was debating seeing it, but last night my friends and I were at the bar. It was kind of early. I looked, there was an 11 p.m. screening of Now You See Me right around the corner. So me and my friend Ben, we stumbled into the theater, and honestly, we had a pretty good time with it. Now, this is by no means a perfect movie. It's not even a very great movie, but it's enjoyable. Like, I know that the writers were sitting there, kicking their feet up in the air, sharing a little giggle every time they wrote a little twist or a little reveal into the script, and honestly, I would have been doing the same thing. I would say my biggest issue with the film overall, not too many of them, it's just that the special effects are a little all over the place. Now, this is a movie about magic. These magicians are, sure, they're kind of bending the laws of reality a little bit here. This movie does play with that idea a couple of times, but I think what would have made this movie feel like it really went the extra mile is if they pulled off a lot of the stuff in here practically, and you can really tell in this one especially they were over-relying on CGI for some of the stuff. I think a pretty good example is the character Henley shows up. There's like a smoke bomb that comes up and she's supposed to like teleport into the room, and you could basically see like from the smoke where they kind of dropped her character into the shot like in post, because her shadow just appears in the smoke like out of nowhere, and it just looks kind of weird. Like if they just had her like step forward and they cut it kind of like that, even just something that simple, like that would have worked a lot better for me. I think especially the opening scene with the four horsemen, like they're doing shit on this stage where I don't even understand what an audience would think that they're seeing it. They're like teleporting around, turning into blurs and moving all over the stage, and it's like, hold on a minute, like what am I looking at here? I mean, the four horsemen in this movie are all pretty good. I think Jesse Eisenberg, he's doing a good job, but they didn't really give him that much to work with. Most of his character is just kind of beefing with Dominic Sessa's new character. I might have just mispronounced his name, but Dominic Sessa, you movie star, man. This kid, as if he's not like 4 years older than me, he's got to be the next big actor, man. Absolute movie star potential. For those of you who don't know, he was in The Holdovers. He was the main kid in there, starring with Mr. Holdover himself, Paul Giamatti. He was incredible. So I'm glad he got to be in this big budget movie and really get to like take the spotlight for a good portion of it. He was incredible here. He had pure movie star aura, very rare nowadays. He blended into this character. A lot of time his posture was a little crazy. His like neck was kind of all the way out like this. But listen, man, he pulled it off. He had some weird posture in a lot of scenes in this movie, but like it added to the character, you know, there was a vibe about it, and just all of his line deliveries, his cocky confidence when he needs to get serious, he could nail it, and man, I loved that character. So yeah, Jesse Eisenberg is mostly beefing with him for like the first act of the movie, I would say. It's the two of them are kind of just arguing because Jesse Eisenberg's like, all right, new guy, calm down. You're not goated yet. Like, you got to earn your spot. And Dominic says it's just like, he doesn't think he needs to prove anything to anybody. You know what the relationship is. It's pretty simple. It's very well done. As a matter of fact, I liked all three new gen horsemen. I think that's probably a good thing. The new gen, they were all great, and I liked all of their pairings. During the middle act of this movie, the new horsemen kind of get paired off to explore this mystery house with some of the older horsemen, and I think a lot of the pairings they went with here were really good. Like, for example, the character June, Ariana Greenblatt, she was also pretty good. Out of the three, she probably had the least to work with, but she was still pretty fun to watch. She got paired up with Jack, played by Dave Franco. They went really well together. They got into like this optical illusion room where you go to one side and you look smaller and the other side looks bigger. They were kind of just like having a little argument with each other. Like there was nothing that deep about it, but like that was an interesting pairing. And then they put Justice Smith's character Charlie with Henley, and I think pairing him with Henley was interesting because they're both sort of behind the scenes and they just had very good chemistry on scene together. I think everybody in this movie happened to have very great chemistry, which is important when you're doing this weird, over-the-top ensemble film. I don't know, I just really liked how they matched up the characters, who seemingly didn't have much in common on the surface. They all played very well off of each other, and that was pretty fun to watch as well. Rosamund Pike as our villain here, Veronica Vanderwald or Built or something like that. I don't know. She was also pretty good. I mean, Rosamund Pike is an incredible actress. She doesn't really have to prove that to anybody at this point. And she is kind of chewing the scenery a little bit. She's supposed to be pretty maniacal and over the top. And once again, she's just very entertaining to watch. I think my big issue with the movie overall, but with her character specifically, is there is no subtext to any of this dialogue. Characters just be saying exactly what they're thinking and feeling. And so I have a feeling this movie's gonna go triple platinum on Netflix because you can have like one AirPod in while you're doing other bullshit and keep up with the whole movie pretty perfectly. Like her character specifically, she just kind of like monologued a lot and fully gave everything away. There was one scene, they tried to flip this on their head. You have Woody Harrelson's character who's like the mentalist and he just reads her like a book. That was a better way of going about it than having her exposit, but at the same time, it really does just boil down to Woody Harrelson's character explaining her entire backstory to the audience, even if it is like a more interesting way of going about it. I don't know. A lot of the dialogue was very like, I'm mad at you because of that fight that we had back in Russia the last time we were together. Well, I've forgiven you for the last time you abandoned me in prison. Like, it is definitely the weakest point in the movie, and some characters had this even worse than others. Like I said, Jesse Eisenberg's character, Daniel Atlas himself, really doesn't get very much to do. I think especially the weirdest part is there's a scene where some of the original horsemen think they're about to die, they're caught in a trap, they can't escape, and he immediately drops his like cool guy, tough master magician facade. He's like, guys, you're my best friends. I'm really sorry we had a fight. I was like, whoa. You just got stuck in this trap. You haven't even tried to find a way out yet, and you're already dropping this to get to like the big emotional moment. There was a lot of stuff like that where I was like, hold on a minute. Let the characters cook a little bit, you know, give that dialogue one more pass. Not enough to ruin the movie, just enough for it to almost feel like a children's movie. It was a little overly simplistic. Still entertaining enough, just not the best work. The movie also had a lot of great jokes. I think the best one came from Dominic Sessa himself, where he made a joke about they had to put a map together and they slide all the pieces together, and he looks at Daniel J. Atlas, or Daniel J. Atlas, did I just make that up? J. Daniel Atlas, no, I didn't just make it up, okay. He looks at Atlas and he goes, Atlas, that's your dad, and like...
that's actually hilarious.
As somebody who tried to watch Now You See Me Too, thought it was boring, didn't quite finish it, Lizzie Kaplan's character just sort of spawned in out of nowhere. She, like in the movie, that is what happens. She genuinely just appears and she has to take off like a full face of makeup and all this shit, and you're waiting to see who the character was. There's like an old woman decoy, and so I was thinking to myself, like, is it gonna be Henley? No, Henley's the only woman on the team. That's too obvious. Is it gonna be J. Daniel Atlas? I don't know. I feel like that's not him. Like, it genuinely takes her like 30 seconds to pull the shit off her face. They keep you in suspense. And then it's Lizzie Kaplan's character, and I was like, wait, I don't know who the fuck that is. She was pretty funny, but she also had the very worst case of saying exactly what she was thinking and feeling the whole movie. Like, her character is clearly an overthinker, an overchatter. She's a chatterbox. That's good. Her lines were funny, but like, she joins the movie late, so she's kind of playing catch up, and so they almost had her character there to like recap things that happened earlier in the movie that we already heard, which is why I think this movie's gonna do triple platinum on Netflix. Like, this is when Netflix made that thing, like, characters need to say what's happening so people can gather the whole story without paying attention. This movie feels like the best example of that, and I'm sure it'll be on Netflix as soon as like humanly possible. I don't know, it bugged me a lot. Her character kind of, she was funny, but like, nah. So yeah, this was not my most in-depth review, obviously. There's really not too much to say about this. It's a fun romp. If you enjoyed the first Now You See Me, if you didn't really enjoy the second one, you'll probably enjoy this one too. It feels a lot more similar to the first. They layer a few too many twists on there, like there's a little too much going on by the end. The very end of the movie, when they're about to take Veronica down, there was like a 3-level reveal to the point where I wasn't even sure what was actually revealed and what was just part of the trick until the movie like kept going, and I was like, oh, okay, that is real. Gotcha. It's doing a little too much, but like, it keeps you on your toes. It's fun. It looks very good outside of a few of the dodgy effects. The ones that they pulled off practically, like that fight where Atlas throws the thing in the air and Dave Franco's behind it, and they actually had Dave Franco on the ground ready to pop up. Like, all that stuff looked really, really good. There was just a couple of moments where the magic's doing a little too much. They had to rely on CGI. Looks a little wonky. I don't really know. Good bits, really great, entertaining characters, all have great chemistry. Movie looks solid. 3.5 stars, a little bit above average. If, you know, you have some downtime, you want to go see it, I recommend. There's a lot of good movies in theaters right now, a lot that I haven't seen yet. I'm still waiting on Predator Badlands, still waiting on Running Man. There's one or two others that are coming out in the next couple of weeks I'm excited for. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of competition right now, but if this movie piques your interest, I'd recommend giving it a watch. So that's going to do it. Keep this one nice and short. Have a great day. Thank you all very much for watching, and keep it crispy.